Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. I'm really looking forward to bringing you this month's Workforce Development Spotlight from the Salesforce Talent Alliance team. If this is the first time that you are joining one of these sessions, then just to let you know that we put these on every month in order to introduce you to some amazing new sources of new and diverse Salesforce talent through some of the organizations that we work with that are training and supporting people to get roles in the Salesforce ecosystem. Last month, we had the pleasure of welcoming Tiffany Spencer and Darius Woodson from HBCU Force. And Tiffany told us all about the work that she's doing supporting students from historically Black colleges and universities in the US. And Darius shared his inspiring story of his journey skilling up on Salesforce so far. So if you missed that session, not to worry, because you can find it on the Salesforce Partners YouTube channel, as well as all of our past sessions. And you will also find today's session posted on there after we've been through it today. If you have any comments, questions, we'd love to hear from you. So please say hi, let us know where you're tuning in from today. And of course, if you've got any questions as we go through today's session, please post them in the comments section as well, and we'll get to them either at the end or as we go through. So in honor of Women's History Month, today we have Lorraine Lenoir from Social Builder, which is a social enterprise organization in France. But before I introduce Lorraine, I did just want to take a few moments, as always, just to talk through the Salesforce Talent Alliance program for anyone listening who may be unfamiliar. So the Salesforce Talent Alliance program is a global program which is inviting Salesforce employers to work with us to grow and diversify our ecosystem. And we do that in three key ways. So the first is through inspiring the next generation of trailblazers to pursue Salesforce careers and work with them to train them up and get them certified so that they're ready to land Salesforce roles in your organizations. The second pillar is about gaining commitment from our employers. So as we're training this new talent, we want to make sure that our employers, our Salesforce partners, and our customers are working with us to bring these new trailblazers into the ecosystem by giving them their first Salesforce roles. And then the third and final pillar is all about connections. So as we train this new talent and have commitment from our partners and our customers, we'll be providing opportunities for those employers and talent to connect and network with one another. So in order to sign up to the Salesforce Talent Alliance, we are asking you to commit to the following three things. The first is committing to inclusive hiring practices. So these are things like ensuring that you remove bias in your job descriptions and making sure that you have a diverse candidate pool. The next commitment is that we ask that 20% of your annual Salesforce hiring is held for people that are new to the ecosystem and have less than 6 months of paid Salesforce experience prior to joining your organization. So this could be a new grad, it could be an apprentice, it could be someone who's looking to change careers. It could also be someone that you've reskilled internally from a different department. The next commitment is then about opening up new sources of talent to you so that we ask that where there's location alignment, our employers commit to providing automatic interviews to certified individuals that come through a certain number of our Salesforce training programs. And being a Talent Alliance employer, once you've signed up and you've committed to those three things, of course, we will support you. And we'll support you with things like vouchers for Salesforce certification exams, opportunities to market with us. There's Trailblazer scorecard points as part of the Salesforce Partner Program. And of course, opportunities to connect with these amazing new Trailblazers through things like a private LinkedIn group, career fairs, and of course, our workforce development partners. So if the Salesforce Talent Alliance sounds like something you'd like to get involved in and you're not already a member, then you can find more information on our website, and the link to sign up to the Talent Alliance is also found on our website, sfdc.co/Talent Alliance. And we'll put that in the comments section for you. And if you have any questions about the Salesforce Talent Alliance that you can't find on our website, you can of course reach out to our team, talentalliance@salesforce.com, and we'll be happy to help you. All right, so as I mentioned, one of the key aspects to how we're building this new and diverse workforce of the future is our partnerships with organizations that are supporting people that are often from underrepresented communities. And they're supporting them with training and mentorship and helping them to find great jobs in ecosystems like ours. So today we're featuring Social Builder, which is a social enterprise organization in France that supports women pursuing careers in the digital world. And we have Lorraine Lenoir who's joining us, and she is the Director of Operations at Social Builder and here to tell us more about their Salesforce training program. So welcome, Lorraine.
Hi, Holly. Thank you for having me today. It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm delighted.
Hi, Lorraine. We're delighted to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. So before we get into hearing a bit more about Social Builder, we always love to warm up and kick off these sessions with a bit of an icebreaker question. And because I know that you used to be a librarian, and of course it's Women's History Month, I wanted to ask you who your favorite female author is.
Good question. A tough question as well. There are so many authors I'd like to mention, I would go for Adichie, well, she is the one who wrote the book Americana. That's the story of a woman living in Nigeria and moving to the US, and the experience that she's having, the relationships she's also having with the love of her life. I don't want to spoil anybody, but it was really like both a page turner, then a really like book that probably changed my life. I think it's very powerful on how women experience and how like somebody is experiencing going to another country and being, how do they get accepted? How is your being a woman in a totally like different country, and how you are observed, how do you feel, how you react. It's wonderful. It's beautifully written. I cannot say, well, you have to read it for sure. And you, Holly, any book to share as well?
Oh, I'm so glad that you said that. That book has been on my reading list for a long time. So you have just absolutely sold it. If I didn't want to read it before, I definitely do now. It reminds me a little bit of a book that I absolutely loved by Tara Westover called Educated. Her story is all about how she lived this quite a sheltered life and how she educated herself at home and managed to get herself to college and university. I think it was Cambridge University she ended up going to, and it's an incredible story. So if you haven't read it, there's one for you.
No, I'm definitely writing it down to put in my list.
I love that. Awesome. Okay. So as we said, thank you so much for being here today. You're here to tell us all about Social Builder, which I'm very excited about. This is a great organization from what I've heard so far and working with you. But why don't we start with you doing a bit of an introduction to yourself and maybe how you first came across Salesforce as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, just, I'm Lorraine Lenoir. I'm CEO of Social Builder. And I think my experience with Salesforce became a personal experience, actually a work experience, before, getting it as working with Salesforce as a partner on a number of programs, which we will be discussing further during our chat. But at Social Builder, so at some point we decided to that Excel files were not a solution to driving our activities. And our activity was growing. And at some point, we realized that, duplicating Excel sheets and having contacts all over the place was not a way to do proper activity and to connect with the women that we were working with, all our ecosystem. And at this point, when I probably reconnected for the third time with someone who mentioned that he was called 3 times a week by another person, I realized that we needed something very strong. And we needed definitely to change the way we were interacting with both our partners and the women that were part of our ecosystem. So that was a couple of years ago. And To be honest, I think it just like provided us, and it's not, when I'm not advertising for sure, but definitely on work experience, it changed the way we monitoring and the way we make sure that we follow and see the women that went through our programs, and we know what happened to them. We know how, when we contact with them, and we're now able to really measure this and make sure that we're having the appropriate level and history with all these people that we've been working with over the past 10 years that we exist.
Amazing. And I know that wasn't a pitch, meant to be a pitch for Salesforce. But what a great job you've just done.
I know. That's why I mentioned it. This is not advertising.
It's not advertising. I did not pay her to say that. But so pleased that you're out of Excel spreadsheets and you're able to track and put your candidates on a journey. So that's awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Social Builder and that program?
For sure. So Social Builder, we are a not-for-profit organization. We were founded 10 years ago. So we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, which is very exciting. And our purpose is that we design solutions to help women find employment and reach their full potential and through tech. Really, like the issue that we're tackling is that the fact that women still represent only 18% of the tech industry across EU, while it's expected to create massive new jobs worldwide. So our deepest belief is that we need to address this issue, and we need to create opportunities for women to get into the tech industry, and for the tech industry, to make sure that they are recruiting women and that the world will be equally designed both by men and women. So that's really our purpose, is to create like a gender balanced world where we make sure that everyone who's influencing our life is not only just men, because it's so far so many just men in the ecosystem, but we're creating more of a balanced way, and the balanced way that design tomorrow's app, tomorrow's websites, tomorrow's future is both designed by men and women. And since our creation, we have impacted 55,000 women's career. So over the past 10 years, we've been, and I think we're very proud of that. So thank you, Holly, because it's a number that really is fun to our heart.
That is an incredible number of people that you've impacted, and what a great story. We definitely need more programs like yours that are supporting women getting into technology. So I love that, and I love everything you're doing. And 55,000 women is amazing. So you must have some sort of unique training model to impacted that many women. So tell us a little bit about your training model and how that works.
So what we do is something a bit specific at Social Builders. So it's we have a global approach of how women are in the tech industry. And so as you see, our activity is based on 3 pillars. The first one is really to inspire women to get into the digital sector, and I'm sure you're aware of that, you're part of the tech sector, so probably now you don't really see the barriers anymore. But when you're talking to your friends, your families, and contacts that you have, you realize that sometimes, and more often, women do not enter the tech industry because they don't know what the various jobs and the various activities that exist. So usually tech is usually reduced to IT, sometimes community management, and sometimes, because we talk about it in the media, it's sometimes about cybersecurity, for instance. But to be honest, women are not really aware of the richness of the environment and the richness and the diversity of the jobs in the tech industry. So our first mission really is to create programs that create interest and spark curiosity in women about tech. And I mentioned on this slide, and we created a chatbot, a digital coach to discover the tech sector, and it's really about getting women to discover this sector and It's starting with a quiz based on your human skills. And based on that, you can find which big area of the tech that might interest you. It's not designed, and we thought about it quite for a long time because we didn't want to design a quiz that was based on your technical capacities. Because if you're not into tech, of course, you can feel that you have the capabilities to enter the industry. While if it's based on your human skills, then you have a variety of human skills, and some of them are very needed for a type of job. So you have your place. So our objective is really to design this type of to create interest through this digital coach, this chatbot. And once these women have experienced that they might be kind of a branch of the tech industry interesting for them, then they go into details of seeing what are the various jobs in this tech branch. And what is the difference? Probably they might get interested into data. So they are just like, they get to know more about what is a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer. And they can find also training programs that if they want to reskill, they can get into the data environment. And we've also included, as well as an opportunity to discuss with a professional. It's like a kind of job interview, I would say, professional interview, to know if this job is like what you think about, what's going to be your day-to-day, and maybe that if you're going to be feel good getting there. So that's really about our first pillar, is really about inspiration and addressing those barriers that prevent women to get into this sector. Our second pillar is about training women on digital skills. So our objective is like to design programs to acquire skills. And most of those programs are designed for women entrepreneurs. So women entrepreneurs, and it's been all the more blatant with the crisis and the pandemic that we've been experiencing over a year now. They have been like critical for any business, and especially like, well, you're in France and moreover in Europe, a number of businesses are closed. So going digital is necessary to expand, to develop your activity, or at least to make sure that you're still survive. So we designed a number of programs around this that are very based on various pillars, but how to create your website, how to use digital marketing to develop your activity, how to use like social networks, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, what's needed to develop your business and make sure that your brand is connected, is well known, and is getting new clients and can expand. Those programs are usually short-term programs. They can go from a number of, well, one day up to a couple of months, but usually it's all digital and we're doing them online. And one of those is like a programs we've been developing with Facebook, which is Shimon's Business. So that's our short-term programs. And now we go to long-term program, and it's really about upskilling and placing women into tech positions. Those programs are designed they are really like innovative and unique, and they are aiming at connecting unemployed women to the job market. So we work with companies and who share with us what their requirements, what the jobs they are looking. We speak every day with companies who are mentioning to us that they are definitely looking for some profiles and they want to hire women, but they cannot find any women in the market because they're lacking women engineer. Mm-hmm. And that's where we design our programs. So our programs go from, I would say, the shortest, like 3 months, it's full-time program, up to 18 months. And we design those programs on tech, really like tech jobs. So that goes from web development, data analyst, and of course, CRM on Salesforce, would that be development or consultant. But we design those programs to reskill create new skills and reskill women to go from what they did before and up to the job market, because our specificity is also to connect them to the opportunities that exist. We don't want to train. I mean, this is not our goal is train to go to a job, because in the end, we want women to seize any opportunity they have and be able to enter a company, to get a career, and to know that they have a long-lasting experience on the tech in the tech industry and on the market. So our target is really like getting them into the market and making sure that they can have any opportunities that is existing. And so we just really work on this engineering. We engineer really specific programs, and we go on the second part is also connecting with companies to make sure that in the end they have they get a long time career in the tech industry, which is like desperately waiting for them.
That's amazing. Everything that you've just gone through there. I mean, I'm just massively inspired by everything you've just mentioned. I particularly love how your first kind of pillar is aligned to our first pillar of the Salesforce Talent Alliance as well, about inspiring people to pursue careers in tech. And I love your chatbot quiz. And that is such a cool idea because, yes, there are so many roles and different roles that aren't always tech-based in the tech industry. And,
Absolutely.
helping people find out what these roles are and how they fit to the skills that they have is super cool. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So I know you're based in France, and we as the Talent Alliance program is a global program. So we have over 400 Salesforce partners and customers across the globe that are working with us to grow and diversify the ecosystem with new Salesforce talent. So I wondered whether you had any plans for global expansion and to expand your programs internationally.
Well, thanks for the question. We do operate in France, but we also have an office in the US, in New York, to be honest, to share. And we, of course, we believe that if there are opportunities in the market and we can favor and create the conditions for women to seize them, that's where our role lies. And I think just what you mentioned when you said the various pillars that how we are kind of connected on that. I believe our the fact that we connect both on the fact that we are job oriented and innovation oriented. So job oriented is really like where there's a need to recruit, where there's a need for companies to get women into jobs, that's where we can intervene. And second is innovation. And I believe that's also something that we share strongly with Salesforce, is like our willingness to make sure that we're creating the most innovative programs that respond and to the needs of companies and the needs of the women. So we want to connect, like making sure that we adapt those programs to upgrade and upskill those women that we train, but we're also wanting to make sure that they're matching with what companies are looking for. And that's where we create, and we usually innovate in creating new programs. And I think it's a strong kind of feature that we share, both of us.
Yeah, aligned on so many aspects. So that's great. And that's a great segue into me asking, I know that you work with over lots of different partners and organizations that have hired from your training program. So what are some of the ways that employers can typically engage with you? So if anyone on the call today that's interested in speaking to you or hiring from Social Builder, how would they get in touch with you and go about doing that?
Well, we have kind of two ways of connecting. One would say first is like recruitment. So either you are looking for a couple of people and getting out of our training programs and interested in recruiting our trainees at the end of their training programs that are usually on Salesforce. It's around 3 months. We are 3 months intensive programs. Well, it depends, of course, on the program, but I would say our consultancy program or development program is like a minimum of 400 hours of training to ensure that they have necessary skills to enter the market. So that's one of the points. If you're interested in a couple of recruiting one person or two, well, we have usually during the year a number of Salesforce programs, and you can come to one of our job fairs that we organize and recruit one of our trainees. Well, they are junior to be there. They are just reskilling, so you cannot expect them to be fully like 5-year experience, but they also have experience from their previous, work life. Because what we do is like we train women that are between, I would say, our youngest is usually around 22 up to 55 years old. So you get to train people, well, you get people that in your organization that are just like highly motivated, highly interested in Salesforce. And they have previously to that another professional life. So they have soft skills and human skills that are going to be excellent to your organization. And if they manage to just like choose to get a training program of 3 months intensive, it's quite a strength of character. I don't know what, I'm just, I'm always very impressed by women who want to make a career change and restart from scratch. I mean, it's wow, it takes guts to do that. So I would say recruitment for sure. So recruit our training. If you're interested in much more, so you have like a number of looking for minimum 15 profiles on a specific jobs, we can design a program together. And second, if you commit to gender equality, well, we have in all our training programs, we include mentorship, because we believe that mentorship is providing an incredible value to the program and an incredible value to the person that is, supported. And I believe, that it's something very, very, very strong that each of us training benefits from the support and throughout the program. So it's helping those trainees to improve, to make sure that while they connect to the job market, they know what's expected. And it's quite, I believe, I mean, it's very powerful. And all the experience that the women that we've been, who have been benefiting from mentorship, always like make it and share with us that it's been probably one of the key things of the program. Beyond, of course, I mean, technical training is not to be looked upon, but I think it's making the difference.
So how can what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Lorraine? If we've got employers that are, really keen to recruit from your training programs, or there's people that are looking to mentor, is the best way to go to your website?
Absolutely, yes. We have a section in English, which is quite brand new, that we're entirely redesigned, So we're happy to, please connect to that. And there are a number of people, and there are contacts on that page. So please feel free. Otherwise, you can send me a message as well on LinkedIn if you want to. But, feel free to go on our page and you would know everything about what to do with us and how to connect and commit on that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lorraine. I do have one question that's come in from someone watching, which is, you must have over 10 years worth of amazing success stories, but do you have a particular success story of someone that's gone through a Salesforce training program and then maybe, launched their career in the Salesforce ecosystem that you can share with us in the last minute that we have left?
Okay, that's hard to summarize in a couple of minutes, but because I'm always very passionate about the women that we meet. But I have in mind a lady who got to know us through a meeting that we were doing. We often do meeting through the unemployment body in France called Pôle Emploi. So they are usually like making fairs. So we were there presenting the Salesforce ecosystem, and that lady who was just turning 50 came to see us at the end and said, "Oh my God, well, it seems possible to me, but I'm probably too old to candidate and to apply to your program." And of course, we said, "Well, absolutely not. Please apply." And we usually select the profiles based on the professional project and the motivation that are critical, and that's how we select who get into who get into our training programs. She applied, and her application was just beautiful. It was very strong, very powerful, and she had thought about it, and she got into the program. She was so committed throughout the program. She was, I believe, she was on the top of the class. You know, she was first on the first row, making all the exercise, making sure she was working at night, redoing, you know, the exams, getting prepared. She took the certifications, the Salesforce certifications, got it on the first round. So that was very, like, you know, after 400 hours. I mean, it's sometimes hard to get 2 certificates at the first time, and got hired into the Salesforce ecosystem. And it's been, she got into that, I believe, I was watching the time and the year, but it was in 2000, at the beginning of 2018, and it's been 3 years. And she is, I mean, she couldn't believe that, you know, being 50, she felt that she didn't have any chance, that she maybe, you know, she was too old to get into that experience. But she is, and she's today, you know, as somebody that I'm very proud of. I mean, I'm very impressed by, and she found a way to, you know, change everything, change her life. And she's into now a company where she's feeling great, and she's feeling, you know, recognized. She has an exciting job that she loves. And sometimes when we discuss, she acknowledged the fact that changing everything was like probably an excellent move that she couldn't think it was possible to do. So, you know.
Lorraine, that is such a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that. What an amazing story to end the session on today. We need more stories like that. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. Absolutely loved speaking to you today and hearing more about Social Builder. And I'm sure that everybody watching us has as well. You've been excellent, and your passion has really shone through today. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everything that you're doing to support women in tech. And I will wrap things up with saying thank you to everybody watching again this month. As a reminder, the recording of this session, if you want to share it with your network, is going to be on the Salesforce Partners YouTube channel, so you can rewatch this. And we will see you all next month. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.